Hey, welcome to Kisa's Artworks. This artwork is a girl with a red scarf. Certainly, here's a descriptive passage of a girl with a red scarf. She stood at the edge of the crowd, quiet but not unnoticed. A crimson scarf wrapped snugly around her neck, vivid against the muted tones of her coat and the grey of the afternoon sky. The scarf fluttered slightly in the breeze, drawing the eye like a flag, bold, confident, alive. Her hair, dark and tousled by the wind, framed a face both thoughtful and observant, as though she was always on the edge of saying something important, but choosing silence instead. There was a calm defiance in her posture, shoulders back, chin slightly raised, like someone who had walked through storms and learned how to stand in them without flinching. The red scarf wasn't just an accessory, it felt like a story. Maybe a gift, a memory, a promise. Whatever it was, it belonged to her the way flame belongs to fire. If you would like to be a part of this artwork, it can be something similar. Now great, you're going to begin something featuring with the girl with the red scarf. So, the first time Jonah saw her, she was standing beneath the old clock tower, where the market square spilled into the narrow, cobbled streets of the old town. Rain hung in the air, but hadn't yet fallen. Just a thick, white stillness that pressed down on everything. People hurried past, heads bowed, coats buttoned. But she stood still. She wore a long, charcoal grey coat that skimmed her knees, but it was the red scarf that stopped him. It wrapped once around her neck and then fell over her shoulder like a flame caught mid-dance. It wasn't the kind of red you see in stores. It was deeper, like something faded by time but kept alive by memory. She had one hand tucked into her coat pocket, the other lightly resting on a worn leather satchel that hung at her hip. Her boots were scuffed, like he'd walked a long way to get here, but her expression was calm, almost expectant, as if she was waiting for something or someone. Jonah didn't mean to stare, but something about her pulled at him, not just curiosity, recognition. He didn't know how, but she looked like someone who belonged in his life, as though she stepped out of a dream he'd forgotten. Then she turned her head, just slightly, enough to meet his eyes, and smiled. It wasn't a wide smile, barely a curve at the corners of her lips, but it was enough to send a ripple through him, a question, an invitation. He took a step forward. If you would like to have this artwork here, or if you would like to shift something, maybe make it more mysterious, romantic, or even magical. Now, wonderful. It's really to build the intrigue a little further, with hints of mystery and connection. He crossed the square, weaving through the blur of coats and umbrellas, his eyes fixed on her as if afraid she might vanish into the fog. But she didn't move. She watched him approach, the same calm smile playing at her lips, as if this moment had already happened and she was simply waiting for him to catch up. Oh, a little breathless. He wasn't sure why. He wasn't the type to talk to strangers in the street. Her voice was soft and low, with a slight accent he couldn't quite place. He glanced at the scarf again. She looked down at it as if she'd forgotten she was wearing it, brushing it lightly with her fingers. Jonah nodded, unsure what to say next. She seemed completely at ease, while he felt like he was standing on the edge of something just out of reach. She shook her head slowly. Her eyes lifted toward the clock tower. She turned her gaze back to him. He blinked, trying to make sense of her words, but she didn't explain. Instead, she stepped past him, her scarf catching the wind and brushing his arm as she passed. Not turning around, Jonah hesitated. His brain screamed that this was strange, that he should be cautious, but something stronger rose in him. Curiosity, or maybe faith. He followed. If you would like to be the next to introduce a twist, maybe something supernatural or a secret she reveals, or should it stay grounded in a quiet mystery and glow connection?